How long have you been in the closet? Whoa. Whoa. What are you talking about? Oh, hey, whoa.
Easy, hey, yo, whoa. Wow. Not on record.
Not on record.
This is not Walter. Repeat.
This is Walter.
This is not me.
All right, November 30th? Yeah? Thursday, November 30th?
Yeah, I'll label it.
Last day of November.
Yeah, the last day of November.
2018.
This is a gem of an intro, by the way.
Yeah.
No, we got it. We were talking a little bit last night about like the emotions of when everything went down, right? Like with more of the trial. Now we know what happened in terms of the actual incident when the party, but it was like broad strokes. You're at the wrong party, up there, whatever it was. On like an actual event level, but also like emotional state. Where was your head? All that. Just like walk us through what happened. Like how'd you end up? Like how'd you get to this party? Who were you there with? You know, like what were the circumstances there? And then like from that point until you ended up at your brother's house, and then through that as well.
Yeah. Well, I remember that in general, in those days that led up to that, I was just, everything felt like a fog. Like I was just, like I didn't really fit in. I'm trying to fit in. I didn't know where I fit in. I was trying to make sense of, being there in Minnesota with my brother and his girlfriend. And then being in this Jobcorp thing, it was just weird because they're trying to be academic, but they're thugs, but they're academic thugs. It was just a weird situation. So it was hard to wrap your mind around because as much as it's like the kiss asses in jail. You know, they try to come off like these really good Christians, these really good teachers. But dude, you're in fucking jail because you fucking raped somebody or you touched some fucking kid. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit less than sincere. It just feels yucky. It just feels, I mean, if I could paint this in these type of scenes, it would be like a green, foggy green, like in the Matrix. You know, everybody just looks like a green hue to who they are and what their existence is. Just because it felt so fake. Around this time, I didn't know where I fit in. I was trying to make sense of this whole situation, and then when I went, and part of being at this party, I shouldn't have even been there.
How did you get there? Who'd you go with?
I remember I took the bus. You know, somebody was supposed to pick me up. And then that person didn't come through, so somebody else was supposed to pick me up, and that person didn't come through. So it was like, you know, it felt like something was trying to keep me from going to this fucking party. But I was persistent, and I was like, well, no, I really want to go.
How'd you hear about the party?
Some chicks I I think it might have been at Jobcorp that they were talking about that. Oh man, you're gonna go with us, and it must have been people at Jobcorp that had told me about it. Some chicks that I was talking to.
But you were communicating via beeper at that point, yeah?
No. We all live together.
All right, but so you're waiting at the house.
It's buildings. It's like a building for the guys, a building for the women. And then everybody just congregates in the same compound. It was like prison.
So you're waiting for someone to cruise by, pick you up, they can come by?
No, I think it was some friends of my brother or friends of a friend that they were supposed to come by and pick me up. And I don't know, for whatever reason I didn't make it, or maybe they didn't even want me there. It could have been as easy as that. They're like, kid's a nerd. He's not worth even picking up. I felt like an outsider the whole time I was there. Like I shouldn't even be there. I mean, for the most part, I always felt that way. I've always felt like, you know, I'm on the outside looking in. You know, like, my brother was always knee deep in fucking everything. He was always the life of the party. And I was always on the outside kind of looking in. So even at this party, I'm sure, you know, other people were excited to go. They wanted each other to go. And then there was I. And I don't think anybody cared enough to like, yeah, it matters. So I remember I people I was supposed to go with didn't go. And then somebody else that was going to go, they didn't come through. So and I just remember thinking, man, I really want to go to this thing. And in those days, everything was just like, everybody else is going to be there, so I want to be there too. And that's it. Like, you know, I'm so unsure of myself, didn't know where I belonged. So I wanted to just go. And I went. I jumped on a bus. I remember just taking a regular bus. I don't think it was with anybody I knew. I went there, went into the party, and you know, everybody was just having a good time. Everybody just kind of knows each other, and I didn't know anybody. It was just very. I couldn't have been there that long. It wasn't that long. Maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. It couldn't have been that long. It's not like I had been there hours. But I was there just like feeling awkward. Like, you know, like inviting yourself to a party. So that's the kind of feeling. It's like kind of, and the same thing at the job course. Like you feel like I invited myself there. It's like, it has a weird feeling.
Your brother was a job corps, right?
Yeah, my brother was there, and he was again, like just like in high school, he was very popular there too. So I went there, and he had a lot of homies. Hey, what's up? Hey.
They were all like former gangbangers that were there. Like it was a crew of people that used to have cliques.
Not former, they're active gangbangers. They were such badasses that they all got kicked out of other high schools. They got kicked out of high schools, or they got it. They were just trying to change their lives around from being complete fuck ups. But from what I understood, it was just like people that had fucked up so bad in other schools that they got kicked out, or they just didn't want them there anymore. And yeah, I mean it had gone well for my brother, and my brother was like, man. You should come here. And my mom was like, really, you should go there. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not doing anything else, so might as well.
But what was like the purpose of Job Corps? It's basically to give people skills so you get a job?
Yeah, they give you different vocational skills training. Geez, I can't even remember. I mean, it's still there. It's still there now, and
Jobcore? Jobcorp?
Jobcorps.
Okay.
Corps.
Corps like that, okay.
And and I remember immediately I got put into a clerical administration position or something, where they're teaching you like clerical skills, how to type really really well, how to file properly, shit that you would use in an office setting. And I did that. I don't know what my brother did, maybe welding or some shit like that. And that's where he met his future ex-wife. She was in the welding program. She was a good-looking Native American broad, half Native, half white. Went on to develop bipolar personality disorder, or it really became more pronounced. And she's like a Rastafarian cuckoo.
Rastafarian cuckoo.
Yeah, big, huge dreads, and she was beautiful at some point. She had a really good looking face, and now she looks like a rug. So she looks like that, like her face looks like that, like that coral. It's just this because she got a job working in asbestos removal, And she's been
She
doing
got
it.
cancer?
I don't know what she's got, but she's been in that for like 15, 20 years. So it's like it's all in her skin. All the areas. So I'm trying to if I were to pop up a picture, it's kind of frightening.
So go back to the party, but you said it was like a rival gang party, right? Like you showed up at the wrong party.
Yeah, once I entered, at some point I was like, damn, everybody's wearing black and blue, which means either they're Crips or Bloods, or Crips or Disciples, or both, a combination of both, because they're allies. And that's when I
What were you
realized.
wearing?
Huh?
What were you wearing? I mean, it had to be something. It couldn't be going black and gold because then they would have
No,
noticed.
black. I think it was black pants, black hoodie, and a tan goldish Carhartt vest. You should wear that fucking Carhartt vest a lot. So it looked like black and yellow. It was this color. So imagine this on top of my black hoodie and black pants.
How do you see the tattoo?
I was already inside. I was inside. I had it must have been hot. I took off my shit, and I was in there. I had hair. Must have had hair. Yeah, I had hair. I think I don't know. I felt nauseous or something. I remember just like it happens. It has happened a few times where I get nauseous and I go in the bathroom and throw a little water on my face.
You got a tank top?
Ooh.
You got like a tank top?
No. Well, I don't know. It must have been like it was like a shirt that didn't have like a long sleeve, but probably like a quarter sleeve, something like that. Something like that. But I just saw a piece of it, and then I guess when I was doing this, I said, "What's that?" Then when you see the crown, I mean, anybody knows what that is. When they see the crown, they're like, black and yellow, 5-point crown. That's it's a giveaway. It's a giveaway, and I just remember him making some goofy ass remark about it. And I felt disrespected. And one of we were drinking 40s too. I think that was the thing in 1993. 40s and like, oh man, I was listening to this the other day to remember. I started listening to a lot of that music. What was popular in 1993? What was popular in 1992, 93, and it was all that fucking West Coast Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and Chronic, and I was so out of my element because that's not even music that I liked. But I remember these guys were like these California wannabe people, and then here I was trying to, and here I was at this party where they're listening to all this shit. Which is very different from the Lion King party where it was, you techno music and all the kings all around, and it was nice. And you just wouldn't go to any other party other than the party that belongs to your crew. And I just remember I was there and we're drinking 40. Somebody gave me. But I don't think anybody gives you 40. I think you just walk up to the refrigerator and there's a bunch of 40 stacked. I remember I was drinking a 40, and I know a 40 will fuck me up. So, and back then I was a lightweight, so I don't know what a 40 would do to me today, but a 40 back then would fuck me up. So I wasn't really in it. I mean, I was a little bit woozy, and I just remember being disrespected in the bathroom, and I was hyping myself up. I was like, "Get this motherfucker! Get this motherfucker! I'm gonna get this motherfucker! I'm gonna get him!" I remember that. Just trying to hype myself up. 'Cause like right now, I mean, after all this time, if you fucking piss me off right now, I'm just gonna react. I don't have to hype myself up about it. I'm just gonna react, and if you beat my ass, you beat my ass, and if I beat yours, I beat yours, and that's it. And that's the way my brother was, and I remember that's how all those guys were. Dino and Popeye, they would just react. They didn't have to think about it. I had to think about it. I had to think about it, and like I had to hype myself up. Like, you gonna let this motherfucker disrespect you? You gonna let this motherfucker disrespect you? It's like I'm encouraging myself. And then next thing I know, we're going down this. I saw him going. I saw him, and like I'm going down the stairs. I'm going down the stairs, or he said something to me. Like, let's go outside, then, motherfucker. Something like that. Something stupid. And then as we both went outside, I remember just the staircase going down. It's just all very surreal. Just. And then as soon as we went out there, I hit him. Boom! I hit him, and then started. Like I hit him, and he hit me, and we hit him, and I took off running. And then he was chasing me. And I got to a corner somewhere, and I got right behind the corner, and I heard him coming. And then when he came, whap! I hit him. I hit him, and something fell. It was a gun. I picked up the gun, and again, this is all this is like, I know it was me. It just doesn't feel like it was me. It's just like, it's like I'm telling a story from somebody else. It just doesn't feel like it was me. It's just fucking a whole different person. And I remember grabbing the gun, and the guy was like, you don't even know how to shoot. You don't know how to. You ain't gonna do shit, or you don't even know how to handle that, or something like, assuming that I couldn't even shoot the fucking gun. Then I shot it, and he kept coming, and I shot some more, and shot some more, and shot some more. He kept coming, and shot some more, and then at some point he stopped coming. I guess I must have hit something that hurt, because then at that point he turned around and started taking off. And that's when I kept shooting. And it was just like, it was very slow motion, very blurry. I don't even know. I felt like it was raining that night. I just remember my fucking ears, my ear was ringing. I'm deaf in one side, so one side compensates for the other one. Damn, that motherfucker was loud. I just had fucking ringing for the next. It was clearly like the next hour, just fucking. And I remember rain, feeling wet, and I remember running down some tracks. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was running down some tracks, and I was at this. I don't know. At this point, I was fucking. I just felt nauseous. I was drunk, so I just like I could hear sirens in my head, or maybe they were real. I don't know. Maybe the paranoia kicked in, and I felt the need to hide the gun. So I came to there was train tracks. I don't know how the fuck I was running on train tracks, but I was running on train tracks, stammering, just stumbling all over myself, and just like just talking to myself. It was fucking goofy. I got to a point, and I was like, I was talking to myself, hide the fucking gun, hide the gun. I was like, yeah, hide the fucking gun. I remember just getting down to the ground. Just fucking, I remember everything was just spinning. I was drunk at that, but I was fucking hammered because I've since drank. I don't think I ever got drunk in the joint. But I have drank since I've gotten out. And there have been one or two times. One time with you. But even then, that wasn't like fucking goofy. But one time I did drink a lot of aguardiente, and it fucked me up. It was nasty. That's what it was like. And I just remember just fucking nasty. I felt like shit. I remember digging at some point, digging, throwing the gun in there and then covering it, and made it to the street. It must have been Yeah, it was a payphone. Must have been a payphone. Must have been a payphone, and I called my brother, and my brother picked up. He's like, "What's up, bro?" And I remember I was like, "Bro, I fucked up. I fucked up." He said, "Where are you?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't even know where I'm at." He's like, "Try to describe where you are," and I was like, "I don't know. There's like railroads. There was a liquor store, and he's just like, bro, pay attention. Just pay attention." I was like, "I don't know." Yeah, I was just trying to describe it. He's like, "Bro," and I must have said something that they were able to figure out where I was. And then they picked me up, and the next thing you know, I'm out. I'm just blacked out. And then I came to on a sofa. I came to. I just woke up on a. I don't know whose sofa it was. Yeah, that's. I don't even know what happened. All I know is like the next memories I recall was being back at Jobcorp. My brother was saying, or I had said, or we had come to the decision that I was going to go grab my shit and get the fuck out of here immediately. And when I was there, there was word that the cops were looking for somebody in the premises. And then I remember somebody saying, "Shit, they're coming." And then and I was like, "Fuck, I know they're coming for me." And then they came in. And they're like, "We're looking for Walter."
During work? In the office they came in?
No, I think it was my brother's. Must have been my brother's dorm, or in my dorm. I don't know. It was a dorm. Must have been my brother's dorm. It was the guy's dorm, but I just don't know if it was in the. Shit, I don't even know where I lived. I can't even remember that. But I think my brother had a room on the first floor or in the basement. I think that's where we were. We were just packing my shit. And the plan was for me to get going. And they came in and they're like, "All right, Walter, we need to take you down to the county for some questioning." And that was it. I'm sure they handcuffed me. I remember just sitting in the back seat of the squad car, a couple detectives, and they took me to the county, and that was it. It was still a fucking haze. I mean, there was no feelings. It was just like I can't. It was just like numb, just numb. It's like there really was no feeling. Now the night before, man, it must have been somewhere in that point. My brother had said something. "What the fuck were you thinking?" And that's when I was like, got panicky. And I was like, "Fuck! I fucked up. But I don't know if I was doing it to myself or I did it to him. Or if he was with somebody else, I had no fucking clue what happened that night. Just because I was so drunk out of my freaking mind. But maybe my brother would probably, his mind would probably remember everything from that night. It's right before his birthday too. I fucked up his birthday. That's fucked. That was October 1st, 1993. His birthday was October 7th. I ruined his fucking birthday. I remember I felt like shit about that. But the rest of everything was just like kind of surreal, kind of hazy. I mean, I can't cop out and blame it on the liquor. I was fucked up out of my brain. And maybe I did have liquid courage. Maybe I had the courage because of the liquor to do what I did. But no, I mean, I had done other shit. We had shot up in the in Chicago. I mean, people would come by, we'd shoot at them, they'd shoot at us. I remember one time I caught this fucking kid near one of the parks, and I fucking bricked him across his fucking head, kept hitting him with a brick when he was down, and and then he just went limp. So I don't know, maybe he passed out, maybe he died, I don't know. But it wasn't like that was the first time that we did some violent shit. I mean, that was the first time it was like right in front of me, like closer than you guys are right now. And it was like right, boom. Yeah, and then county jail, or the annex is what they called it, the annex. I was there for, it felt like 2 or 3 days. Not really sure how many days I was there. And then, yeah, that was all just one big old blur. Just slept a lot. Just slept a lot and just feeling nauseous. I mean, it happened so long ago, and it's like it wasn't me. I have a hard time, like, even keeping a straight face, because like, how fucking dumb was that?
Take a breath. You want to chill for a second?
What a fucking retard! No. Listen, I've gone through this conversation fucking hundreds of times with kids, through the Choices program, with other inmates, with some of my soldiers. Because I don't glorify. It's just. It is what it is. It's not something to be glorified. It wasn't something brave. It was fucking stupid.
It's the first time you talked about it, maybe with the exception of Tara, in depth since you got out.
Since I got out, oh yeah, I told Tara. In details. That's just Tara. Yeah, Tara. That's it, Tara. I can't think of anybody I've shared it with. I mean, I have shared my story with a couple women, like the prostitutes, because they feel like shit. We've sat in bed and they're like, man, I'm just, I feel like shit. It's so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm a whore. I'm a prostitute. It's just disgusting. I can't. My children are gonna hate me someday. I'm such a disgrace to my family, and I hear this so often. And if I really care about a woman like Jennifer, like a Carolina, like an Andrea, at some point I'm like, hey, I gotta talk to you. And they're like, what's up? I'm like, I can't hear you. I can't stand listening to this. You beating yourself up. You didn't do shit. You're fucking nothing. You got nothing to be fucking embarrassed about. What you're doing is fucking honorable. And they're like, whatever. I mean, whatever. I've done some fucking nasty shit. I've done some fucking horrible shit. And you know what? I ate shit for almost 20 fucking years. And I'm a living testament that you could fucking do stupid fucking horrible shit and you could still make up for it. That even though you do the worst that could possibly be done, you could flip it around and turn that into something fucking positive. And if you think selling your fucking pussy is something fucking horrible, let me share with you a little bit about, what I did. And they're like, oh, you would know, you're from money, you're from, university. I'm like, bitch, I was like almost 18 fucking years, 18 and a half years, almost 20 years. And they're like, huh? I'm like, I just fucking got here because I was deported. And they're like, what? And I'm like, let me explain. And they're like, oh, holy shit. And I'm like, so I can't hear you beating yourself up because at the end of the day, you're as much of a fucking victim as anybody. And what you've done is you've managed to do what you can with the fucked up resources that you have. And the only resources you have are your beautiful face, and that's it. You got nothing to be fucking embarrassed about. And whatever you do, no matter how bad you think it is, you can flip it. And if you can't flip it, your fucking kids will flip it. Whatever money you're making out to at least try to keep your kids fed, to try to keep them together, to try to keep them going to school, well, fuck it. that's gonna become that lends to something else, and maybe these kids will amount to something pretty fucking cool, and maybe someday you'll fucking write your own story about what happened, and maybe you'll inspire somebody. And I mean that's why I ended up getting. That's why I always sponsor. I always end up like helping out some of these women, and it's not always. They call me like, "Hey Walter, I can't make it this month. I can't cover it this month." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. How much is it? I'm gonna need like I need $1,100,000. All right, I got you. How do I send you money? Just make it to this school, or just send it to it's usually the schools. The schools are the ones that fucking drain them for their money. So I'll just make a wire transfer to a bank account that's associated with a school.
You're sending your kids to private school?
Yeah, a lot of these women. You pay for schools here. There really is no like a public school. It's pretty bad. Public schools are just like the ghetto, the really poor neighborhoods. But a private school you could afford it. It's only like Carolina's kids go to the fucking top notch one, ran by nuns, and there we're paying $100 each one.
Her kids go to a school run by nuns?
Yeah.
$100 each person?
$100 a month for each
Which is
kid.
a lot for here.
Oh, that's a fucking fortune. That's over 3 million, almost 3.5 million, almost 4 million per year per kid. That's all three kids. That's 10 million. That's $3,500. That's a lot. My brother in Minnesota pays, he pays like 20,000, 25,000. But that's in the U.S. He also makes a lot more money by year. Who the fuck is making
1 million is what? $300?
about $350? Yep. So it's expensive, but when you think about it, private schools here are pretty fucking relatively cheap. So if you got $1,000, it's $100. Yeah, if you got $1,200 a year, yeah, I would send my kid to a private school too. And I got a little bit of money, so I would be able to send my kids to the bilingual schools, the George Washington, which is right out the city. They call it the George Washington, the Jorge Washington.
You taking a break for a stove? You want to stop and take a break for a stove?
Want to stop or what?
No, I thought you wanted a stove.
No, we're smoking now.
Cool. All right.
Can I try one of those, bro?
Yeah, just don't inhale. Should I try one? Don't inhale.
I'm good, bro. Thank
Yeah,
you.
they're good.
No, I'm telling you, man, I had
Epiphany.
No, I was in an ayahuasca session. It was in an ayahuasca session. My father had a couple heart attacks. I was there for both of them. Wheeled in, open heart surgery, like quadruple bypass and all that. And I was there, and my grandfather died of heart disease, my father died of heart disease, and I'm sitting in there and fucking smoking my cigarettes, and I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna go or what, but I know I'm not gonna like.
I
the flames.
just bought these because you smoke. So when you got here, the same day.
How quick it is to put you on it?
No, because it's like I see him doing it and it smells good.
Yeah.
The smoking, but then I'm like, I want to smoke too, and I give myself permission to do it for the 10 days that you guys are gonna be here. That's it.
For me,
I'm gonna stop when coming back.
That's
Same
it.
thing. Yeah.
All right.
I was like, it's way too tough to come here. It's enough that I don't do fucking coke or drink. It's like I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I quit smoking when I'm
scratching,
fucking here. Yeah.
No,
Plus,
I mean,
I want to be sociable.
Yeah.
no. The cool thing about prison, the way it worked for me was it was so clear. These privileges, you get to buy more canteen, you get to have a TV, you get to buy all these things. They were tools of control. They were fucking controlling you through this economy of privileges. So guess what? As a land king, as a fucking soldier, as a warrior, you learn to really have that self-discipline. And then somebody would put down a fucking Coca-Cola and I'd be like, I'm good, brother. They'd be like, man, won't you like it? Nah, I'm good. I just drank one. Even though I want that motherfucker and I want it bad. I remember even in the county jail, I was like, damn, Tone was always eating these fucking chocolate Snicker bars and all that shit. He's like, hey, whoa, that little thing, man, you want something? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm good, brother. I would always make up some fucking excuse. I always make up excuses for anything. No, I just ate or whatever. Even though I fucking want it, and I really want it, and the more I want something, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking test myself. You really want that? Well, now you're not gonna get it, and I fucking, and then I withhold, and then the next time, this guy casually comes along and he's smoking. Fuck it, I'll do it because I can, not because I want to, but because I can. Now it's different. It's not because I want to, because I can. And I'll just goof around here and smoke around you because you guys are here. It's something to do. Everything with me is it's something to do. It's not because I want to do it. I have to do it. I need to do it. At the end of the day, everything I do it's just something to do. Fuck it. I haven't smoked cigars in such a long time. Fuck it. Might as well do it now. Something to do. And then you're sitting here, we're talking. It makes the place smell a little bit nice. Yeah, fuck it. It's something to do.
You like it?
It's alright.
No, it's something to do.
No, for a cigar, it's good. I usually hate cigars. It's life, though.
I used to like the macanudos, the other ones. Same thing. That was my father used to smoke.
Yeah, it's something to do. I'm not inhaling. I'm not fucking. I'm not really a fucking gangster ass drinker. I mean, I put this much fucking whiskey, and look how much water I put. So
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts water, 1 part whiskey. That's as fucking diluted as it gets.
Sure.
I mean,
No, I used to like sitting there and writing, and have coffee and a cigarette. Like,
Good enough.
I used to like the ritual, but
it's with it's with limitations, with limits. Everything within limit. I mean, everything. I put limits.
switching gears for a second.
Do it. Switch.
The crew at Jobcorp, you remember them? Like your brother's crew. Who was there? Like, how long were you there before everything went down? And then, like, who was the crew you were running with in Jobcorp? Like, basically, what I'm understanding is that you just kind of jumped in with your brother. He was out there. It was his crew. It was his guys. But how long were you there before everything went down? And like, who do you remember that was part of that?
No, I remember. No, it wasn't like that. It was such a weird time because here I come from the hood, from Chicago, where we game bang every day, and now I'm in this. It feels like a college setting, you know. At that point, I had already gone to a few colleges to party on college campuses, so I had an understanding of what a college campus was. And this felt like a fucking college campus. Guys' dorms, women's dorm, and then like this area in the middle where it was like a basketball court, a game room, and people would go, co-ed, so that everybody would be there congregating, hitting on each other, sitting in the bleachers, guys trying to talk to the women, everybody. It was a lot of cliques. And I went there. I don't remember any fucking I can't remember any Latin kings there. And if they were, like my brother, I remember there was a lot of Crips and Bloods. And even then, I went there and I was like, damn, you guys are, what the fuck? You guys are all like on this education trip. Like, like they were gangbangers, and I'm not, they were wearing their colors. They would flash their signs and everything. But then at the same time, they were really taken serious, like, the program. It seemed like it, but then we go to this basketball, or to this little area where everybody would congregate, and people were just talking the way they talk, like ghetto ass motherfuckers, and it basically all came down to guys chasing chicks chasing guys, and
There wasn't any like beef between the gangs. It was sort of like
it was like a peace. It was like a peacetime. For me, it was weird because in Chicago, I mean, you're a king, and if you see a disciple or you see an opposition, you instinctively go attack this motherfucker before he attacks you. And yet here we were, everybody was just kind of like cool with each other. Everybody was just talking to each other, and big groups of like 8 guys or 10 guys here, and they would be like a couple Crips, a Vice Lord, a couple disciples, my brother, a king. It was just, and I didn't know how to. I didn't want to register this as okay. So it was just a really surreal time for me. I was trying to make sense of it, but I couldn't make sense of it. So, I mean, I think I ended up just like really doing the program, which was so fucking easy for me. It was just like, you know, anything academic in those times was pretty easy for me. In fact, right after I got there, it wasn't even a month or two that I was there, and they sent me off as a representative in this in a contest, a competition of different Job Corps. I remember this now. There's like different Job Corps. Like at Job Corps, they had a competition to see who were like the little the smart people. And based on the test scores and everything, you know, you got selected. They chose me for some odd reason. They selected me, but I wasn't really super strong in math or science or this or that. I just happened to be relatively strong in everything, so they took me as an alternate. So I was. It was like 5 people who all dedicated to one strong suit, and then me, who was all of them. And I remember I studied for this thing, and it was supposed to be something that was like, wow, you know, it's worth congratulating. It's congratulatory. And I went, and I was like, wow, this is like academic Olympics or something. It's fucking crazy. And we were gonna go compete in Detroit, and so they put us on some. Must have been planes. They put us on a plane. They got us some uniforms and shit, like sweaters and turtlenecks and some cool jeans. I don't know what it was, but they sent us to Detroit to compete, and the idea was to go there and compete in this academic Olympics. And the day I get there, boom, Alan's there, and Alan is with another Job Corps. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? He's like, I'm in that Job Corps. I was like, huh? From where? He's like, from another state. I was like, what the fuck? Well, he's like, and then we're starting like, shit, that's my family. He's my family. And so he was telling his crew, that's my family. And then I was like, yeah. And then my crew was like, who is that? It's my cousin. They're like, what? Did you know? I was like, I don't know. No fucking clue. And then my cousin, who Alan's a fucking retard, so he's like, bro, let's get your crew and my crew. Let's go to fucking Canada. You know, we could get drunk. It's like a no age limit, or age limit to drink is 16. Let's go over there. And we're like, yeah, you guys want to go? Yeah, fuck it, let's all go. So I remember we went because of Alan's dumbass. Alan was like, Walter, let's go. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And then my crew was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Some white girls were like, man, this is might not be a good idea. I was like, come on. Nothing's going to go. What could possibly go wrong? It went wrong. We get there, fucking, we buy liquor, we get hammered, and we try to come back like at 8:30 or 9:30 at night, only to find out that they closed the border at a certain time every night, which was like at 9:30. And then they don't open it again until 8 in the morning, and the competition was at 8:30. And at that point, we didn't have money to do anything. We had already drank it, so we only had enough to get back, so we didn't sleep on the streets, but we were just like walking around until like 8 in the morning, and we pulled an all-nighter, and we came to the competition. We arrived to the hotel, and they're like, "Where are you guys?" We're like, we're just waking up right now, and they're like, well, get into uniform. We're like, yeah, get into the uniform. And I just remember they were asking fucking questions at this competition, and somebody's like, Walter, you know that? I was like, I know what? And I was like, you know this one? I was like, what? I was like, what is it? Like a country that separated from Colombia in 1960. I was like, are you talking about Panama? Panama! They're like, yeah, Panama! I was like, yeah. I was like, what? It was just fucking weird. But we ended up getting 4th place anyway. It's just it's a fucking weird moment. It was just over.
How the fuck you get? Oh, you had your passports on you? You don't need a passport?
No, not at that time. You just walk right over. Yeah, walk over. It's a bus ride, like 5, 10, 15 minutes.
From where?
From Detroit. from Detroit, you just go right across like a tunnel. I remember a tunnel or something. A tunnel, and then boom, Canada, right there. So you took a bus, tunnel, Canada. That's all I vaguely remember because I got drunk that fucking night. And when I get drunk, yeah, me and liquor don't. Me and heavy drinking don't go well. I forget shit. I space out and lose it. But yeah, anyway, we ended up. Alan thought it was fucking hilarious. It was a fucking goofy moment. And then we came back, hey, we got 4th place. Yeah, not bad for a fucking group of 5 morons who pulled an all-nighter and fucking drunk. But yeah, that was relatively quick. Right after right when I got to Jobcorp, I guess they gave me tests, and I was like off the charts on everything. They're like, "Damn, you're ready for all the major exams." I guess they were giving me like different tests or whatever, and the initial tests showed you where you needed to work on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you don't need to work on anything. You're good."
How long were you there before you ended up at the party? Like, how long were you in Minnesota?
April, May, June, July, August, September, October, somewhere around between 5 and 6 months, maybe. I'm not really sure when I got there, but it must have been like somewhere around my birthday, around April or May-ish. I don't know. I just don't remember. But
Remember the vibe of the crew that night when you guys went out? I'm trying to like visualize the night piecing together. Obviously, like I'm recreating it as I see it. Like your brother had a best friend. Your brother, his girlfriend was there, right?
what?
Like you said when you went there, it was your brother and his girlfriend.
Yeah, but they were always together. That's why I was
Right.
just like, wow, my brother doesn't even fucking talk to me here. He's always with this fucking chick. I was by myself.
Right.
It's just like
And him and his crew were gonna take you to the party. Or you gonna
it
go
was
with them?
it was his buddies because I remember I was like, hey, we're gonna go. He's like, no, I'm not going. But I know that these guys are going, so I told them to come pick you up, and they were supposed to pick me up. And they were all black guys. I remember my brother had a lot of black friends. I was like, damn, when did you start hanging out with all these fucking blacks? That was not normal for us to hang out with blacks. It was just a lot of them, and they were all like vice lords and GDs. I remember one time my brother said, "Hey, go out with my buddy," or his buddies came and like, "Come on, Luna, let's go." And my brother's like, "Nah, I can't go, but here, my brother's gonna come with y'all." And they're like, "Oh, all right, cool." And then I get into the car, and there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6. There was like 6. There was like 7 people in the fucking car, and all of them were GDs. And I was like, "Damn, my brother's trying to get me killed." I just remember thinking, "Holy shit, I've never been this close to like gangster disciples. What the fuck is my brother doing?" And then I remember I had asked my brother, I was like, "Bro, what the fuck?" He said, "Nah, bro, it's different over here." I was like, "Oh, all right." I was just like, "Okay." I was like, "I'll just go with the flow," but I was just shocked that my brother would stick me in a car full of opposition. But again, Minnesota was not. It was like it was in the cover bands. Tribute bands.
And everybody in Jobcorp was from Minnesota.
No. No, no, I don't think so. I think when you sign up to Jobcorp, they do like a lottery thing, and then beep, next thing you know, you're in Kalamazoo, Milwaukee, East Coast, South. I guess we're all over. I don't know. I know that they got tons of them everywhere. And I don't know. My brother had like pulled special strings or had talked to somebody to get me with him in his place. So that's why I was willing to do it. I was like, well, I'm going to be with Ed. Yeah, fuck it. How bad could this be?
You like back in Chicago, you just because it's a major decision. I know it's your brother, but to like move to Minnesota from a situation where you got your people, you got your friends, you have your
No,
family.
I felt like I was gonna. I felt something bad coming in Chicago. Slick, Polo, and a couple other kings had recently robbed some other kings. So they got killed as a result for that. And I remember I used to like really hang out with Slick and Polo a lot, and I was
They
like,
got
hey,
killed for him?
for stealing from other kings. And I remember I used to hang out with these guys. These were my guys. We had a lot in common. So I was like, damn, I would have been there with them. Had they offered me the opportunity, fuck yeah, I would have went over there and we'd have robbed these other kings. So
What was the circumstance of that? I mean, that's like multiple levels of
treason, betrayal,
Right, exactly.
fuck, that is so fucked on such a fucked up level.
Also, I remember you said that they were like, it was like high when they did it or something like that. Like that was a big influence on deciding to.
Man, Slick, I mean, they were fucking weed heads. Slick was like a grown ass man, and we'd all hang out at his fucking house. His mom, his house was a fucking disaster, and his mom would always come home late at night, and she'd always just she was cool with us, all of us being there. But the house smelled like fucking cat piss, and there's just always nasty ass animals there. But he was like a grown ass man. I just remember him being like a grown ass dude. And we'd all hang there, and they'd all fucking just smoke weed all day, getting high, and talking shit. And I'd be there with them. And 40s, the fucking 40 ounces. Every day we were fucking drinking 40s there. So drinking beer was very important. Drinking 40s. And, yeah, I ended up hanging out with him. It was Creepy, Polo, Slick, all these guys. We would always hang out basically at Slick's house. And I remember at that time it was very popular was the jack moves. When you jack somebody, you rob a motherfucker. And I remember, oh god, this is so fucking embarrassing. Well, right around that time, there was this like movie that was so real. And I remember I saw it and I was like, damn, that's real. That's reality. That's my life. And no, I watch it now and it's so embarrassing. I'm like, that is nothing like reality. What the fuck was I thinking back then? I have nothing in common with these fucking morons on TV, but it was called Menace to Society with O-Dog and the guy. Well, anyway, I fancied myself an O-Dog. Like a young crazy motherfucker that was quick to pull a gun and just shoot a motherfucker. That's like who I wanted to be. As opposed to like in the rest of the movie, there are like smart motherfuckers who are trying to get out of that. And O-Dog was a stupid motherfucker who was filming himself shooting people, he had stole the videotapes of him robbing stores, and he would just play them over and over again. Like, watch this, and he's showing it to all his friends. Like, watch this, that's me right there. Ah! Look where I shoot this motherfucker. And I thought, I was like, damn, this is the realest thing ever. This movie is so real. I look back now, it's fucking horrible, so stupid. But I fancied myself that archetype, that bad boy, that fucking I don't give a fuck. And I remember I used to hang out with these guys, and had they given me the opportunity, I think they did give me the opportunity one time. Hold up. Yes, it was, well, I don't know if it was around that time, shortly thereafter. No, it was shortly before because Polo was still alive. Yes, the jack moves, people were planning jack moves. And I remember one time, Tony T was planning a jack move. Tony T, Polo, and they needed a third person, a gunner, and that was me. So they got me, so I was like, yes, they called my number. Yes. So I was like so amped. I was like, yeah, let's go fucking do this jack move. And we were gonna rob, and we were robbing M&K, like audio shop or something. It was some Asian dude or some Greek dude, some ethnic dude who was the one that was installing all the systems for all like the drug dealers, all the gangbangers. And it was a cash operation. So I remember Tony T said, "Dad," I remember them talking right in front of me. They're like, "Man, this motherfucker." I was just over there, and he had just gotten his system put in. And he goes, and this motherfucker, the owner pulled out a fucking not like that. This motherfucker had about 70 grand on him. And I've gone there a couple times on, I think it's Friday night.
That's what Tony said?
That's what Tony said. He goes, I've been watching this motherfucker. And like on Friday nights is the night to hit this motherfucker. We hit him on that night, boom, about 70 grand right off the top. So who's in? Pull that shit, now y'all doing? And they're like, well, we need somebody else. I'm like, me, I'll do it. And they're like, you down, shorty? I was like, hell yeah, shit, fuck yeah, I'm in. They're like, cool, we'll do it. I remember we planned it out, and we had guns. So Tony brought the guns. We pulled up. We were pulled up to the corner where it was going to happen. And Tony turned around, or Tony gave me the gun. He said, "All right, sure, you know how to handle this?" I was like, "I got this." It was something like a 38 or something. It was a thin 38. I was like, "Yeah, it's easy. I can handle this." And I was in the back seat. And I was in the back looking at the gun. I was like, "I got this. I'm gonna shoot a motherfucker." He's all right. So and then he goes. And he gave the other gun to Polo. And he goes, "All right. So here's what's gonna happen." He goes, "We're gonna go in. We're gonna go in. We're gonna wait for. I'm gonna go in. Wait for there to be like the minimum people. As soon as people are leaving, and I'll come back out as soon as people are coming out. And then when I come out, when you guys see me, that's time to come in. Now, if I start walking towards the car, that means it's off. Something went wrong. But if you see me just step out and then step back in, that's your cue to come in because there's nobody there. And so you got that? That's what we're going to do. And then we go in there, and what we're going to do is we just come right in, and then I remember he said there's usually 3 people in there. There's the owner, the big guy that I guess he's like the bodyguard, and then the cashier.
That's how we talk, like calm like that?
Yeah, he was very precise. Tony was he's a very big boy, really good. He's an older guy. And clearly he had done shit before. He was a Puerto Rican, a well-spoken Puerto Rican. And there's a good story behind him too. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But anyway, Tony the Tiger, we called him. Tony T says, so we go in, and then we're gonna let them know it's a motherfucking jack move. If we even see them move a little bit, we just shoot this motherfucker. Once we shoot the big one, the other 2 is just gonna bitch out. So all we gotta do is just shoot this motherfucker. So just watch him. And he had already said it's like as soon as you go in, they're always in the same spot. One's at the cashier, one's over there by I think it was by the rims or by the something, and then the owner is always over there. So the one we got to worry about is that. So anyway, so he laid out the whole fucking plan. And he's like, "You guys ready?" And I was like, hell yeah, King, I'm ready, bro. Let's do this shit. And then Tony said, "Polo, you ready?" And he's like, "Man, you for real? You for real with this shit?" And Tony says, "What?" Nigga, what the fuck you think? We playing? The fuck you think all this conversation with a gun in your fucking hand? What the fuck you wasting our fucking time? You fucking what, bro? Man, you guys are serious? And now I'm like, and Tony's looking at me. He's like, "King," and I was like, "Oh fuck, what?" I said, "Of course we fucking serious." And then he's like, "Man, fuck you, fucking bitch. Give me the fucking gun. Fuck's wrong with you? Get the fuck out the car." Then we drove off. And I was like, damn, I got dressed up for the ball. And I never even got to go into the dance. But I was so amped. I was like, I'm going to do a score with Tony T. I'll be a fucking legend. Tony T died soon thereafter. But Polo died soon thereafter in another jack move with Slick. They decided to rob some kings. They were going to go get like a kilo of coke. I think that was the deal. They were supposed to get a kilo of cocaine from these kings. They were going to get a kilo of cocaine fronted to them, which means they were going to get it on consignment.
That's a great word for like getting a kilo forwarded.
Yeah, it was a consignment.
You know, like the fucking Biggie, like the 10 Crack Commandments?
Right.
It's,
Is it in there?
yeah, consignment. Like, you ain't got the clientele, tell them hell no. They're gonna want their money, whatever, rain, sleet, and snow.
Alright.
Yeah, well, it was on consignment, and because they're kings, it's money in the bank. You know, you're not gonna steal from me. And the idea was that we're gonna get this kilo of cocaine from. Well, that was their idea. They're gonna get this kilo of cocaine from the. I remember this conversation. They were gonna get this kilo of cocaine from these kings, and then they were gonna sell it, give them back their money, and then the profits they kept. But then I didn't know what happened. But all I know is like within 2 or 3 days, Polo had a brand new car, Slick had a car. And they're just running around with gold chain. I'm like, and they got money now. I was like, damn, shit, these guys are doing right.
And you don't want to get involved in that thing?
I wanted to. I felt robbed that they didn't let me in on that.
Left out.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, man, it could have been me. But then it wasn't even like a week later or so, and then they're like, Polo just got killed, and I was like, damn, what? It's like we're talking right now, and then we go get some pizza, and then we come back and we find out somebody calls and says, hey, Yoav just got killed. What the fuck? That's our dude. What do you mean Yoav just got killed? That's our dude. So like these were my dudes. This was Polo and Slick and Creepy. These were my dudes. We hung out every fucking day for years. It wasn't even days like this. It was years. So like Polo just got killed. We're like, huh? What? Polo? We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then all of a sudden, a call came and said, Slick just got killed too. We're like, I'm like, well, I just remember going, what? What do you mean Slick just got killed too at the same time, or what? Separately? What the fuck? What's going on? And they're like, these kings just got killed by other kings. I'm like what? They're like, yeah, the kings from the south side just came and killed them. And I was just like, I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know how to react to that. And then somebody, it must have been Popeye the chief or Dino the second in command. Somebody came to her and said, "Listen, man, we need to talk immediately. Get together. We're having a meeting or something." And it was told that they told us that like these kings from the south side coming here. They were looking for Slick, Polo, and like one or two others, and you guys can't get in the fucking. And none of us could get in the middle of this. We just gotta let it happen because these kings went over there and robbed those kings, and we don't do that. Kings don't steal from kings, and if you steal from a king, you die. And that's all to it. I was like, damn. I was like, shit, that's my crew. Slick, Polo, all of these. I was like, damn, these are my. I mean, like kings have a way of gravitating with each other. And like in our set, there was maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 members just in that little corner, just on that one, which was called School in Laverne, which is the corner of the high school I went to. School in Laverne. Or vice versa, I don't know, School in Laverne. And in that specific tiny little section, there was like, somewhere between 30 and 50 of us. So that's like my family. That's my crew. And we are a branch from Whipple and Wabansia, which is one of the major, there's two major sections in Chicago. There's Beach and Spalding, and then there's Whipple and Wabansia. There's always been a little bit of an animosity about, who is greater than thou. But Beach and Spalding has always been, they always had like the history. They were like one of they were like the original section that had all the major players. But anyway, but they were both equal at that time. They were, and prior to this day, I don't even know what the fuck's going on this day. But for many decades, they were equal. And this was my crew. And even within this crew of 30 to 50 guys, like 4 or 5 kings would hang out amongst themselves, and then these 4 or 5 would hang here, and then these 4 or 5 would hang here. And I was always hanging around with Slick, Polo, at Slick's house. You know, there was like 5 or 8 of us that used to always just like congregate there. My brother was not one of them. My brother would hang out with like with Bubba, White Boy Willie. You guys got to meet them in Chicago. One's in Vegas, one's in Chicago. These guys are fucking just great
You gotta
guys.
put the list together when I go there.
Yeah, they'll. I wonder how would they react to it. Because I mean,
We should probably sort that out before.
yeah, because they're like you can't talk to the media, and they are still active kings. So I guess this kind of falls under the media, and they really all.
I think we should probably err on the side of caution.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I mean, they it's like me telling you, hey guys, you know this whole Jewish thing. You know, it's not really real. You know, you guys just kind of got duped. You just gotta let it go. There's other things. Let's talk about some other cultural
No,
norms.
look, we go to the talk. Like I go there and sit down with them. Like I'm just getting color of story. I'm not asking like we were talking about it earlier. Like they're not incriminating shit. No one's asking for details about things. That's
Well,
you know.
what you're gonna do tomorrow is basically a ritual, and there are certain patterns and certain behaviors, do's and don'ts in this ritual. Well, being a Lion King is a lot like a ritual, and one of those rituals is you don't talk to media, anything that has to do with media,
Right.
anything that has to do with that. We have a code of silence. If you violate this code of silence, we give the green light to hurt you, to take you out. Now, me, I laugh at that shit because yeah, you get take me out, I'll fucking take you out. You know, I'm just so fucking. I'm such a such a self-hating Jew. I mean, I don't really believe in what everybody believes in. I'm a self-hating king. And I bought into that, and then years later, I'm like, none of this applies to me. And Lieberman is like, he's a self-hating Jew. I mean, I remember I've talked to him about this before. I was like, oh, you're Jewish. He's like, don't talk to me about that shit. I was like, what? He's like, I don't talk about anything. I go, well, what's your faith? He's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't talk about anything. Let's go bang some whores. I'm like, all right, let's go bang some whores. But like, I would try to talk to him. He's like, I'm one of those self-hating Jews.
But you're very removed from it.
Right.
You're very much removed from that world.
Or for whatever reason, you've alienated yourself. You were alienated from it. You. In my case, I got so fucking deep into it, and when I got to the fucking core of it, you realize that it's hype. It's hype. It's not. The idea is great. Fuck, it's like me opening up a nice Catholic. It's like me opening up the Bible right now. Fuck, if I read this fucking thing word for word, I take it serious. It's fucking beautiful. The fucking stories, the morals, the rules, the guidelines, the principles. You're like, fuck, this is awesome. And then if I get involved with one of these Catholic congregations or whatever up the street, their interpretation, how they apply it, their rituals would fucking drive me crazy. And then I'm watching this fucking priest, who I know is banging a fucking chick. Because I mean, a lot of these priests here, they bang women. But I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up, how does this do it? And then they're saying that, that they're just saying weird shit that you're like, wait a minute, this is a hypocrisy here. Women are like, the body is sacred, but I'm like, but I know 4 of you here, you're whores. What the fuck, what? And then the hypocrisy. So you're like,
and also people just manipulating the faith into whatever they want.
Absolutely. So that's the same with the kings. When you look at the laws, it's beautiful. You're like, well, this is actually pretty fucking cool. For young, like minority groups to become politically active, yeah, that's actually a good thing.
So you think any of them are going to even talk? Anybody that sit down with?
Is your brother gonna talk?
I don't even talk to that fucker. But that's the curious thing. My brother's a fucker. My brother. I mean, if I explain, at the end of the day, my brother's my family, and he rolls with me. And if I explain to him what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing it, he's gonna be like, "Nigga, shut the fuck up. I got you." And if I said, "Hey, listen, bro, I need you to take Zach over there next time you go hang out with the brothers, and just have him ghost you." If they ask who he is, hey, he's your cousin. You know, he's one of our cousins from back home, and that's it. And my brother would do it. My brother would be like, "Yeah, fuck it." And then and again, like a conversation with Jennifer, you would quickly realize, oh, this is just pathetic. This is just there's like nothing here. It's just so superficial.
Whenever I'm doing any kind of conversation just to get color on something, like there's no judgment on anything. Like it's not my place.
It's true.
It's not my place to pass judgment on anything. Like if I'm want to learn about her, like
You're right.
or them or this.
They're people.
Yeah, the people in a situation I have no idea about. I've never been in, and I've never been. So for me to sit there based on my life experience and to judge, like you have a different relationship.
No, my relationship is I'm so fucking deep into them, physically, literally, metaphorically, that I go so deep with them that I'm like,
So I'm not judging anybody for it. My thought is just like I for us to do it has to be authentic, and for me to do it authentically, for us to do it authentically, it's got to be.
That's the argument.
That's
the argument. Plus, my brother's gonna be like, bro, me doing this, bro, well, I've worked in entertainment before, bro. So whatever cut you're getting, I'm at least I'm gonna need about 15 to 20% of that, plus royalties for the next 5 years. I'm gonna need a back end deal. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, that's my brother. He's such a fucking douche, man. This guy always finds a fucking angle.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I don't need to meet. No, because I got other people there, like, to talk to and stories and this, and even I got, like, oh, by the way, you ever heard of the name Mike Green? A lawyer?
Mike Green, why does that sound familiar? With a Greene, Mike Green. Why does that sound familiar? Mike Green. I don't know, it just sounds familiar.
My father knew him from like years. He hasn't seen this guy in like 25 years. Apparently, he was a defense attorney for some of the Kings, and he like didn't do his job, and he just beat it. He went in hiding, something like that.
Mike Green. No, I mean, one of the kookiest lawyers we ever had was a 1% outlaw biker. Fucking bald-headed, crazy-looking white guy, older, with a fucking stash like this down to here. It would just come like this, a Fu Manchu, right to here. And he was representing my brother or Dino or whatever, and they took us to the 1% outlaw headquarters to talk to him about something. And I remember I was there, and as we're walking to this building, I was like, damn. We were waiting for him, and we started looking inside, and we were looking inside the headquarters. First thing we noticed is bullet fucking proof glass everywhere. So I remember asking my brother, I was like, damn, what kind of fucking lawyer is this? He's like, bro, this lawyer is the shit. They're 1% outlaws. I was like, what's that? They're bikers. 1% outlaw bikers. I was like, huh? He's like, watch, you'll see. And then we go in there, and it was the 1% outlaw bikers, hangout somewhere in Ravenswood. I don't know why that just came out of my mouth. Ravenswood. I don't know, but it came somewhere, and we went there by Sheffield. Ravenswood, huh?
How old were you?
I must have been like 16, 17. Fuck, I don't know. I get flashbacks of like, names and shit. My brother will be like, man, I'm telling you, this cocksucker, he is so good. This cocksucker, I'm telling you, this is the problem I have with him. I'll be like, bro, he'll be like, hey, bro, man, you got a nice fucking sample, bro. You should hook me up with one. I'll be like, man, you got a nice phone too. Fuck, maybe I'll hook you up for Christmas or whatever. What the fuck, bro? Don't you remember in third fucking grade you came and you asked me for 35 fucking cents? You bought a fucking pack of Bubblicious, the fucking purple ones. You remember, bro? Did I fucking give you that, bro? And I'm like, no, and he's dead fucking serious. And I'm like, what? He's like, Nancy, that's what the fuck's wrong with you? You fucking, that's some bullshit, nigga. Man, that's what the fuck, bro. That's what the fuck. That's why you come here anymore, bro. Fuck you. And I'm just sitting there like, why? I just did 18 years in the fucking joint. I don't need this. I don't need this. And then something like 35 cents in the third grade. I'm like, how can you remember something like this? And he's telling the truth. Yet I don't know what happened in the fucking third grade. But he remembers.
Amazing.
So he's a fucking... My brother is a fucking character. I'm telling you, he's a character. He's gonna...
Now, look, I want to meet him. Just, even King stuff aside, like he plays a big role in it. It's a gang stuff aside, like it's family. But as far as like talking to any of these other guys, like...
No, he'll understand. I'll explain to him. My family, my sister. Right now, we're taking a little break, and I know that they're just waiting for me to be the one to call them and say, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" And that's it. And then we begin fresh again.
Right.
But I'm not going to do it because I got nothing to talk to them about right now. But when we have something, a reason to talk about, then I'll do it.
Why don't you find out real soon? Huh? The next month?
18th.
It's like 3 weeks from now?
Yeah, man.
2.5.
How long are you going to be in Chicago for?
10 days.
Okay, I can make it happen.
But I'll be there like the first week, and then I think I'm going just fucking offline up into the sticks to right.
Because if you want, my brother, we can always do Skype calls or whatever. I'll talk to him. Be like, listen, bro, real deal.
I'll be there. I bought a ticket to.
Well, you should meet my sister. My sister will drive you around. She's a fucking Uber driver, Lyft driver. She's fucking hilarious. She's a good kid, and she's got good stories.
I want to meet them, and then I want to go down to this guy we're working for this other project. He's got people in Stateville that have all these fucking crazy stories and stuff like that.
No, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of generalizations that you can make, whether it was a CO or a correctional officer or a lawyer or even a real member of the Land Kings who had contact with the Land Kings. There's a lot of shit that just is basically the same fucking story because, I mean, they're pretty one-dimensional. They're not. I mean, we have laws that push you to be one-dimensional. I mean, this is what we are. Read the laws. There's like 20 laws. Do that. And whenever you see that, you start seeing it. You're like, oh shit, he's a king. Look at his behavior.
Right.
But tell me, like, Slick and Polo, just to get back to that, like, what were they like? Like, what were you were hanging out every day? Like, what kind of, what did you guys, like, how did they talk, you know? What was their...
Well, Slick was a tall white guy. But he always sounded like a black guy. You know, like if you ever watched like the black folk talking in the black movies, you know, it's like the Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans have a way of talking, but it's almost like black and Puerto Ricans. We have there's a vernacular, there's a way of speaking that's very similar. I mean, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it just comes out of me, and like even if it's only for about a few minutes, it's there. Like when my brother does it a lot, and then we use the word nigga a lot. Man, this fucking nigga, the fuck he's talking to, bro? Bro's a lot. We use bro, and you're speaking. You're speaking louder. You're speaking loud. You're speaking.
Slick talk?
Yeah, he was a loud talk. He used to talk loud, laughing, very boisterous. Hey man, hey Polo, look at this motherfucker. Hey Shorty Mac, hey Shorty Mac, tell me what? Hey, you ain't fucked that broad yet? Hold on. Polo, come here, man. This nigga ain't fucked this fucking broad. Shorty Mac, how long you been with this bitch? 3 months. This nigga ain't fucked that shit in 3 months. Polo, what you doing on the second man? I second man, fuck that bitch already. My fucking her in the ass. I mean, it's very vulgar. A lot of ball breaking. We used to ball. Man, everybody's just breaking balls.
What, like what?
Like making fun of you for having a girlfriend, for not trying to fuck her, for just for trying to do things right. They would make fun of you.
What, like what? Give me a scenario.
Well, like that, like having a girlfriend, they would make fun of you, and then at the end, after they make fun of you for having a girlfriend, for not getting in that pussy. How long have you been with her for? 3 fucking months? You didn't even have you fingered her? Have you fingered her? Did you stick your fucking finger in her pussy? What's it smell like? How many fingers you get in there? 1 or 2? Come on, bro. I don't talk about. Okay, but brother, you in love, brother. You in love. Okay, hey, Paul, man, listen. The brother's in love, man. Hey, man, shorty over here. You don't want to talk about this girl, this motherfucker. You in love, brother. I respect that. You in love. Man, I ain't in love. And then you'll be like, man, I ain't in love, man. Stop saying that. All right, well then what is it? So did you finger this fucking bitch or not? How many fingers you get in there? Like, I got 1 finger. 1 finger? You ain't try to stick 2 fingers in there? How'd you stick your finger in there? You wet your fucking fingers? Was your pussy wet when you stick? And they just keep going and keep going. And then when it's all said and done, after they've basically ridiculed you for this, they'll be like, hey, shorty, man, it's good though, bro. You're in a real relationship, you gotta respect that shit, bro. You're like, what the fuck? You guys just broke my fucking balls. And then at the end, you're like, no, a real talk, that's a good shit, bro. You should, if she's the one, don't fuck it up, man. She got a good family. Yeah, she works and shit. She going to school. What's she studying? Damn, she's studying medicine, bro. That's a creeper, man. You should try to marry that motherfucker. So we encourage that after we fucking break your balls about it.
And Polo, what was he like?
No, and Polo was more like Slick's, like a yes man. He was like his hype man. So Slick would say some dumbass shit, and then Polo would be like, yeah, man, that's right. That's exactly what it's like. Hey, Polo, man, remember that shit we did last week? What's that? Man, we whooped that motherfucker. Oh, yeah, we whooped that motherfucker. Remember I punched that motherfucker in his motherfucking face? Yeah, I remember that, man. Yeah, blood was everywhere. Remember that shit? Like, he would just feed off of Slick's energy. Otherwise, he would just be chilling there fucking doing nothing. But Slick was very charismatic. Dino was very charismatic.
Was Slick like with the whole like white thing that was the problem?
No.
Like being white?
No, that was the beauty of the Lion Kings. The Lion Kings, that is the beauty of them. You can't really identify. That's what makes them a threat too. We were when I was a king, there was 250,000 kings. 250,000 kings, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Subsections. I remember one time we went to a beach party, and there was over 5,000 of us on that beach that day. There were so many of us that normally you can't, you got to park on the outskirts of like Montrose Beach, like there's like a soccer field, and then a whole bunch of shit here, and then rocks, and then you get to the beach. But you gotta park. You gotta park over here, way the fuck over here, and then you gotta walk forever to get to the beach. Not for us. We parked in this. We parked on the fucking grass. We were parked everywhere in there. And then I remember the police just came in, and then they were just walking. They're like saying, "Hey guys, we just don't want to see guns." They were just walking right through us, saying, "We just don't want to see guns." The cars were parked right where they were, in the soccer field, everywhere. They were just saying, we just don't want to see guns. If anybody's got guns, just. And I remember some of the kids were like, don't worry, hey Sarge, don't worry, we got this shit. You ain't gonna see no guns. Oh, I remember that GD got caught in the water that day. Beat this fucking dude down. Right in the water. He was out and swimming with somebody, and the Kings just started beating his fucking ass.
How'd they identify him?
He was black. So they say, hey, what you be about? And if you stammer, chances are you're about to say the wrong answer. And if you would have said Vice Lord, then they'd be like, great. Where are you from? Where Vice Lord from where? And then he would have gotten caught lying, so he'd have beat his ass. So he would have gotten slapped maybe once for being a neutron. If he was like, hey guys, I'm not in a gang. Whoosh, get the fuck out of here. I would have just slapped him. He would have gotten his ass beat fucking hard. He would have gotten pretty fucked up by trying to say he was a Vice Lord and not being able to verify it. Or by being if you say you're a Vice Lord, or if you don't say you're a Vice Lord, and if you say you're a neutron, or you don't say you're a neutron, well that means there's a process of elimination. So what are you then? You're a GD? That's it. And I'm sure the guy had
Slick was
tattoos.
older than you?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I was a young one. All the time. Let's say I was whatever. Yeah, I guess I got it when I was 14 or 15. I became a king. So at that point, Shorty Meg and I were the same age, so we were about 14, 15. The next kings up were probably like 19, 20 years old. My brother was probably my brother was. He's technically a year and a half older than me, but this fucker, he radiates. He was always so much bigger than other people, so he fit right in. So even though if I was 15, 16, he was probably 17, 18, but he was up there already with the 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, and he fit right in. And he had this full beard. He was bigger than a lot of them. But I remember a lot of the kings, like Tony T and all of them were in their 20s, 21, 22.
So what's the deal with Tony T? You said you have a story about him.
Well, Tony T was he was a curious character. He was a fucking great looking guy. Oh, this guy was very charismatic. The women loved him. Very good looking dude. Was minor leagues. Used to play with the Texas Rangers. Yeah, that guy. So he played with the Texas.
No, I remember him mentioning some.
Yeah, you were at the Rangers game. I was like, yeah, I had a buddy with with the Rangers. He shot himself. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Killed himself.
Oh, Tony T killed himself?
Yes.
So that's why I was like, oh, because I remember the
So Tony, he was just a charismatic, fucking great guy. He'd be a great fucking politician, a great ball player, so good looking. But he was always selling coke. I know that he at some point he was using coke. He was probably snorting it or smoking it. I think he became a smoker. There was rumors that he was smoking fucking cocaine. Tony was a very interesting guy because of that. He was so charismatic and everything. But the interesting thing about him was that he was with the same white girl, Tina. He was with her from like grammar school. So from like the 5th grade or 6th grade, he was with the same white girl. All throughout the grammar school and high school, they were like childhood sweethearts, high school sweethearts. And then I guess he started making money. He was doing really well, and he was just always had fucking gorgeous women around him. And then one day, Tina, because I was really good friends with her sister Tracy. Tina said, I know Tina just wanted to break up with him. And I remember it was Tracy that told me that Tina wanted to break up with him. So she called him and said, Tony, man, it's not working out. I think we just need some, we call this quits with this and end this. And then he told her, no, listen, we're going to break up with me. Let's do it in person. Fuck, we've been together 7 years, 8 years, whatever, since we were kids. So he told her to meet him at the park, which is a half a block from where she lived. And it was the school they had gone to. And she went to meet him over there. They were talking. And at some point, he just pulled out a .357, shot her in the head, killed her, turned the gun around, stuck it in his mouth, and blew his brains out. And that was it. That was the end of Tony T. And this guy had everything going for himself. But I think towards the end, and again, this is like all around 1993. This is like a bad fucking year for me. Because Slick died, and he was my bro. He was like my guy. Polo was fucking hilarious. I love that guy. Died. Richard, my fucking brother. He was more of a brother to me than my own brother. Ed was a fucking dick. Ed used to always just hit all of us. Fucking asshole. Rich would always try to protect me because I was the little one. So, my brother would just fucking pound me, man. And Rich was the oldest one, but he was still smaller than my brother. So they would just try to stop Ed from fucking. We would always he was always trying to whoop somebody, whether it was Richard and then Alan and I would try to stop that, or Alan and then Richard and I would try to stop that, or me and Richard and Alan would try to stop him from fucking beating me. It's just a jerk. And he died that year too.
Why did he die?
Freak accident. I guess he was at a stoplight. and something was wrong with his car, and then the cops went, woo, and they flashed the lights for him to pull over, to like pull to the side, and instead of like hitting, or he was moving, and instead of braking, I guess he got so scared, and he was a fucking chicken. This guy is a fucking chicken. You know, this guy did not fuck around. He was the one. He was the only one that didn't join the gang, and he wanted to so bad, but he was just like, guys, I can't, man. You know, my mom will kill me. I can't, guys. So we were like, you know, we always make fun of him because he was such a pussy. He's such a fucking great guy. But anyways, he was scared of his own fucking shadow. So it turns out they said that when the cops said that they turned the lights on him to pull him over to question him about like a light or something, instead of hitting the brake, he must have had panic and hit the gas and hit the steering wheel at the same time, and just instead of going straight, he immediately just clipped this fucking tunnel. So yeah, it was like he's going like a bridge, or like it wasn't a tunnel, it was just like a bridge, and like he was like literally like really close to it, and he could just stop, but he hit the brake or he hit the gas and turned and just went this, boom, and hit this corner just like that, and just like boom, and it was just like they said something like 3 to 5 feet. It was insignificant. There was a 7-year-old in the car, which was his nephew, and the kid didn't even have a seatbelt on. And nothing happened. The kid was just nothing. The kid was okay. It was such a minor accident, that nothing happened to this kid. The kid was just like, what's going on? In that point that he did this, I guess his head was turned a certain way, and it just snapped. And it just snapped, and he fucking broke his neck or something. It was just weird. Because they said that the way he died was just a fluke. It was just weird. Because the kid that was with him, who had no seatbelt, didn't even hit his head. He didn't, like, there was nothing. He didn't hurt himself. And he didn't even have a seatbelt on. And then Rich, I guess he must have turned his head the wrong way or something, and then just the whiplash or the whatever, and just fucking snapped his neck. It was just weird. They said it was a fucking weird death. I remember, I think it was his mom came and told me that in prison, and she was fucking, she was.
Was that happened after you were already in prison?
No, that happened the same year. But you know, the mother hated us. She hated us for so many years that she had moved to Florida and took him with her. And on rare occasions, he would sneak away from Florida and go to his second mom's house, which was my mom. He loved being at my mom's house, man. He just felt like he was such a part of our family. So he would come visit us from Florida every once in a while, you know, much to the horror of his fucking mom, who hated us. And I learned this later because his mom came and she's like, I hated you guys, God, I hated you guys. But my son just loved you guys, and now I punish myself because I tried so hard and did everything possible to get him away from you guys. And it was me and my decisions to take him to somewhere where he wasn't happy and put him in an environment where he just wasn't happy. And he dies of something so stupid. It wasn't nothing. It was just a stupid little moment. It wasn't a serious accident. It was nothing. And yet you guys were doing the craziest things ever. And look, the worst happened to you and you're in prison, but you know what? You're still alive. And I'd take my son alive and in prison than to have that void in my life.
So she came just to see you. You said it happened before you went to.
Yeah, I never.
Does it happen? You said it earlier. You said it happened, and so now you're in prison. So
Yeah.
she came just to vent
to
that?
vent. Yeah, we never talked to her. When all that happened, like they had the funeral and everything, must have been in Florida and everything. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, we may have had a little memorial service, just like some of his friends in Chicago. But it wasn't like his mom was there or nothing. No. The mom fucking hated us. But years later, I don't know when it was, but she came to visit and she's like, I wanted to talk to you about this. And it was pretty sad. I was like, damn. She's like, I tried so hard to keep my son away from you guys, and he just, it made him miserable because he wanted to be around you guys. And worst case scenario, look, you're locked up for killing somebody, but you're still alive. And he goes, and I remember just, she was like, use this time wisely. Do something. I did. Yeah. It was a fucked up year. I lost really good people I looked up to. That's why I was rattled, and I was just like, where do I fit into any of this shit? And I didn't. I just did not fit in. I felt like such a fucking loser. I didn't know where to. Yeah, I had no identity. I was so lost. So I get my, I do what I do, and now I'm in the county jail, and now I'm like a lead character, and I'm like a lead role. I'm that Latin king from Chicago in this pod of 50 guys, Hudspeth, Vu, all these guys, but I'm like a key player. And it was just, it was a little bit of a stroke to my ego, and I needed that. I found my identity, and deep down, whether I wanted to be aware of it or not, I know that in my subconscious, I was like, yes, I'm somebody now. Fucking A, I'm somebody. And this meant more to me than to be outside banging any fucking hood rats, or being in college, or being anywhere that anywhere where I knew I wouldn't fit in, like college or anything. I was just like, that's not for me. And here I was like, damn, I'm somebody. And I was somebody, and it felt good. It felt right. And I may have denied it to myself, definitely to the world, but I may have denied it to myself that this is not where I wanted to be, or where I should be. But deep down in my subconscious, I knew that I was happy to be there, and it was just like, damn, I'm that guy, that tough guy, that fucking convict. And then the more I became a convict, the more I eased into that role, and then the way people reacted to me, and it would stroke my ego. It was like, damn, I just got to carry myself. There it is, the laws, the rule. Follow the game plan, and just be that. And then it just got easier to be that. You lay down there. I remember I would go down, on rare occasions, I would go down to the flag, which is the main area of a prison. They call it the flag because it's made out of flagstone. And I would go down the flag, and my soldiers would all be, they would have 2 tables together, and they'd all be cooking. Yo, what's up, King? Come on, come join us, man. Come on, King, man. We don't ever get to see you, brother. The Inca, man. We don't ever get to see the Inca. And I come up, you brothers are doing good, man. Damn, food looks good. Yeah, man, you guys are doing good. All right, brother. Listen, hey, King, let me talk to you real quick. And I would talk to somebody like a leadership position. I'm like, King, let me talk to you. Oh, come on, Luke, brother. Join us. Come on, Inca. I'll let this brother real quick. And even though I wanted to be there, it's so easy to be there. I would find my reason to go down there, be seen, talk to whoever's in command, give him that special acknowledgement of authority so that they respect him. And then I would go down there and be, socialize a little bit personal, just be a little bit so that I wasn't this fucking recluse up there. That at least I was visible, and then they could see me, and and I always had some good fucking size on me, and then all the other people would see me, whether it was the GDs or the whatever gangs, and they were so with respect. It was important for me to do this so that they would see that too. And then I would talk to that king, but hey, king, make sure that it's all good. Make sure that I would make up something. Go down there for minutes. Never more than like 10 minutes. Never. This is very rare.
What would you wake up?
Anything. Make sure that, God, it would make sure that it was always something bizarre. Like I was always, let's see, yeah, something like make sure the brothers ain't horse playing. Make sure that these guys that they're not over there hanging around with the blacks too much. Make sure that they're not hanging out with the Mexicans too much. Because I remember I would hear from some of the kings like, yeah, this king spends a lot of time with the essays with the Mexicans, and I would be like, really? Okay.
Were there some Mexicans in the king?
But no, yeah, no, there was a lot. We had the whole. That's what made the king special is that we didn't discriminate. You could be an Asian, a white guy, a Mexican, a Puerto Rican. It didn't matter. You were a Latin king. Period. But when you made your allegiance to the kings, that was it. You couldn't have mixed allegiance. So I would, they would let me know if there was an Asian king that was spending a little bit too much time with Asians. I would say something to whoever was in command, the cell house head. I'd be like, hey, listen, watch that shit, because don't let him get confused that he's an Asian or whatever. He's a fucking king, and he could say what's up to these dudes. But he can't be there with them. Oh no, but they eat every. I remember one time. No, they eat. He eats with them all the time. I was like, no more. That's just gotta come to an end. And you let him know that he's got to choose up. He's gonna be with them or he's gonna be with the kings. And if he's gonna be with them, we gotta work out a little violation or something. But he can't be there every night. And I know that's his fucking people and everything, but he can't.
Speaking of the violations, you were talking before, like mentioned a few times that like if a king robs a king, right, then it's like the violation is death, right? Like they kill him.
Yeah, well, yeah, on the street,
Right?
yeah.
On the street. Could that happen in prison though as well?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like if a king, like I was waiting. There was a point where I thought I was waiting for the orders. Because I was going to kill this dude. I wanted to kill him.
To come from whom? Oh, you weren't an Inca yet?
Huh?
You weren't an Inca yet? Or
No, I was an Inca.
You're waiting for the orders to come from whom?
And I was waiting for the orders to come in from Chicago. There was a rumor that a king had worn a wire to the meetings in Chicago. And and one of these kings was from Division and Damon. And that he had worn a wire to some of the meetings, and as a result of the meetings, Gino, a lot of the prison chiefs ended up getting more time added to their sentence. A lot of them got banked for like, I don't know, maybe RICO Act or something.
Well, because they were giving orders from the prison.
Yeah, and this guy wore a wire into these meetings, and in these meetings they were talking about, Gino wants this, the brothers from... it was just constant references to the prisons and to the Gino. And I remember a lot of people got indicted, and the description was that it was a king from Damon, from the projects. And I remember one year we got this guy, a chubby little. They said it was a fat Puerto Rican from the projects, and he was white. He was like he was a white. Heavy set Puerto Rican from the projects. That's what I remember. That was the description.
How'd you get that description?
Kings had told Kings had talked about it. I remember. I think it was Casper or somebody. Might have been Uncle Pete. No, it was Kings from Chicago. It was Kings from Chicago that had talked about it. So I was probably talking to my brother, or talking to somebody from back home, and they had talked about this. Somebody had mentioned it to me. Oh, or Tretch. It might have been Tretch. He was another king from Chicago that came through. But it was suspected that there was this guy, and that was the description. Projects, light skin, a white guy. A fair skin, not a white guy, but just a fair skin Puerto Rican, heavy set projects. And I remember one time we got Enrique Hernandez. I don't remember his name. But anyway, we got this guy, and he was heavy set. He's Puerto Rican. He looked like a white guy, blue eyes. And when I asked him, I was like, "Hey, King, where you from?" Oh, Division in Damon. I was like, "Projects." I was like, "Whoa, oh fuck!" And I was like, "Shit." And I was like, "This okay." So I remember I had mentioned it. I had mentioned it to somebody from Chicago. Who the fuck was I talking to? Can't remember who I was talking to, but I was like, man, I need to know. Try to give me that information to find out who this guy was, because I think he might be over here with me, because they just brought in a king from the feds, but there's no reason why he's here. Like, I know why Casper was here, because I asked him, like, hey, I was like, why are you here? He's like, brother, we just had a ride over here in Menard or one of the prisons, and it was true. The guards had corroborated. The guards told me, yeah, some weird shit happened in one of those prisons in Stateville or something, and they shipped a whole bunch of people from there. We got some vice lords, we got some blacks, and then we got your guy here. And I was like, okay, good. And I was just waiting. I asked, I was like, I got this guy here, but I need to know what the name is so that I could take care of this nation business.
How did you ask? Like, how did it go?
Well, it's just very simple. Just like that, I was like, hey, try to get more information on, or a name on who that king was that wore the wire.
Who'd you say?
No, yeah.
So what's the chain? What's like the line of communication you got when you're locked up, like to get information back from Chicago?
I called somebody. Or was it was it Ed? I don't know if I called it. Was it maybe? I don't know if it was through my brother. Fucking hey, I don't remember who it was, but it might have been Uncle Pete. But then again, I suspected Uncle Pete too. But even no, because Uncle Pete was from Jersey, so it wasn't a Jersey. So he was from Connecticut, so it wasn't him. So it may have been through him that I was trying to find out information. I had him. No, but he didn't get visitors. Somebody was getting visitors. Slowpoke. I think it was Slowpoke because after he got out, he started going back and forth to Chicago because he had become the chapter Inca, so he was going back and forth. And I was still in contact with him. I would call him, but it was like I would call him and I would talk to my brother. I think, fuck, bro. It had to have been him, but how I was communicating with him, I think it was my brother, if I'm not mistaken, and then other kings that were leaving soon too. So it may have been a king that was leaving, and I was like, hey, when you get out there, because I remember it was very sensitive. I was like, I can't say this shit because
That's what I'm saying. You can't just like use the house phone and
no, it was you couldn't just use the phone. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, somebody had it might have been one of the Uribe brothers, because the Uribe brothers used to visit each other a lot, and there was a lot of these fuckers, and they used to get a lot of visits. And I think I mentioned it. I talked to one of them to ask his brother in the Twin Cities to talk to Slow about it, to give me that information, because I needed a name on who that was that wore the wire. And that was it. I remember I was like, hey, King. I was like, man, it must have been. I was like, hey, King, next visit you get with your brother, I need you to ask your brother to go talk to Slow and just ask him, when he goes to Chicago or whoever he talks to in Chicago, to get a name on the king that wore the wire. On the king that wore the wire. and that's it. Just try to get a name for that. 'Cause I think we got somebody here that's interesting. And that was it. But and I remember they're like, well, who? I was like, no. I was like, he's like, bro, is he here? I was like, no. I was like, no, just get that information. I just need a name. That's all. I just need a name. And and I don't know. It never came back. The name never came back. But I would look at this dude, and I never gave him a leadership position or nothing. I discussed nothing around this guy because I was just so paranoid.
Did they ever find him? Did they ever find the guy with the wire?
No, I don't.
On the side, you know, there was like a documentary on there. They were talking about some guy who wore a wire.
Yeah, no,
Would
No,
they
no,
put
it
that
must-
guy that
no,
works
it's it.
wire in prison?
no, to the meetings. It was a huge
You know what I'm
news.
saying, but would he go to prison after, wouldn't that be like to get out of prison?
No.
Maybe lower his sentence, yeah.
That's to probably get a lower sentence. No. I mean, no. If you cooperate with the cops, they look out for you. I know it was huge. It was huge news, man. That was huge.
Yeah. That would. No question that you can order a hit within prison, but it's something where it's like it would happen that you go after another king in prison, like if kings rob king in prison, that's the same laws apply, the same rules apply.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I remember I wanted that information because I knew that was my job. I was like, if it was who I thought it was, then I had to take him out, or I had to find somebody to take him out. But it had to be confirmed.
Right.
So if the name would have lined up, I would have reached out. I would have reached out to Sloan and said, I think the dude's here.
Were you conflicted about it?
Mm-hmm. Look, he's a king. He's right here with me. So I was like, fuck. I don't know that's him. I just have an instinct. It was just a feeling. I was
Were you conflicted about having the potential to carry out an order to kill one of your own?
No, not at all. No, because it quickly becomes fucking rage. Instantly becomes rage. If I know that that's you, as much love as I have for you, up until that moment, it instantly becomes fucking rage and I fucking shit on you.
What if you know? Because this guy seems to be a stranger. You have no relationship with him. What if there's something like you got guys that you know that commit some kind of discretion that are grounds for death?
And even then, I knew I had talked to him a little bit already. He had been there a little while. And he was just a nice guy. So I mean, yeah, there would have been a conflict there because he just seemed like a really nice guy. But this must have been early. This was like right when I became the Inca. So right around 1997 or whatever. I really didn't give a fuck about getting out, and I really took on, and I really enjoyed this Inca persona. So this was like this is not around the Librand time. This is not when I had already gone through my higher learning process. This is like fresh. So at that point, I was just being a good king, and a good king would have been the one that says, "Hey, I potentially have this fucking rat here," and if it is, it's very selfish too. Because if it was, and I was the one that took out a hit on this fucking guy, I mean, man, I get bumped up to a whole different level, and immediately I get sent to the feds too. I get convicted of a federal crime, and I go off into the fed system, and I graduate again. Because then I become like a Casper. I become a well-known king for doing that. So there was a selfish. I guess there's maybe a little selfish motive there.
How would you have done it? Did you ever think about it? Like what are scenarios? How would it have played out? Would it have been as simple as a normal shank, shower, those kind of circumstances? Or something a bit more?
I mean, at that time I was, I think he was in the education unit, so I think I wasn't in the education unit, so it would have been so fucking easy. I just went into his room, I probably would have just been hanging out with him, sat down with him, and then get him real comfortable, watching Rap City or whatever. And prior to that, I would have definitely had a piece of metal brought in from the industry or from the kitchen or from upstairs. You can make your weapons to be made in prison easily. Or lock in a sock. You put a lock inside of a sock. A couple socks actually. And then at any point I would have backed up a little bit behind him, took my lock out or my shank or whatever. And while he's watching TV, I just reach back a little bit and just get up, wham! And just start fucking pounding his fucking head in until if he passes out, great. Then you just keep hitting him, and if he somehow gets up, you keep hitting him. But at that point, I would have had 1 or 2 kings on standby, right around, like within 10 feet. I would have him just standing. Yeah, because I'm by the corner cell, so I probably would have brought him to my cell. And my corner cell was always was like 10 feet away from the washers and dryers. So I probably would have just had 1 or 2 kings by the washers and dryers, quote unquote, doing laundry. So that's what it looks like on the camera. And then if there's that much of a struggle, I would have been like, if you hear too much of a struggle, you hear yelling, and it's going on, then get in there. I would have designated one of them to go in there with me, probably one of the lifers. So
you wouldn't have had someone do the hit for you. You would have done it yourself. If you have to carry out any hit within.
Well, on something that massive, that serious, yeah, I remember thinking, this is fucking serious. This is very fucking serious. So if it's gonna get done, I remember I thought about it. I was thinking about it. I had thought about it. If it had to be done, it would be me, because whoever else was available at the time, I didn't think that they had the ability to do it. I mean, he was a big boy, bigger than either one of you. So he was a big boy, and I was bigger than any other king there. So I mean, he was big, but I was bigger because I was fucking just diesel. I was fucking pure muscle.
What about another kind of discretion? Would you have done it because of the severity of it, or would it if you had
the fame, I'm assuming, right?
For the fame too,
Sure.
Because I'm making a name for myself.
Well, let's say there's a theoretical, hypothetical situation where someone does something like a violation, robs a king in prison for whatever reason, and he needs to be taken out.
Would you do that? Would you?
At the onset, I would have looked at the variables, and the variables were this guy was big, so if he was a big guy, so I would have done it. There were other situations. Let me think. There must have been other situations where it was somebody had to get fucked up, somebody had to get beaten, or somebody had. Can't think of anything right now, but I know that it must have happened where somebody disrespected somebody, or somebody owed money to somebody else, or somebody was using like smoking crack or something. These were little things that that somebody would run by me. Maybe a cell house hefe would run by me, and they'd be like, "Hey, this king's this king did this, and we're gonna violate him." And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's it." And then they would just kind of like matter of factly tell me these things. But it was I didn't really need my input because it's pretty basic, simple. It's pretty simple. The ones that have to do the mission are the ones that just got there, the newest members, and the newest able-bodied members. So it's usually gonna be younger inmates. So it's not gonna be one of the older inmates, and it's gonna be the ones that just got there. So they have to prove themselves, or anybody that might be on a new king too. Because I remember we had a couple new kings, just guys that wanted to be kings. I remember a couple occasions. The cell house hefe would be like, "Hey, well, we got this dude on probation. It's so and so's friend. They've been homies for a while, and brother's vouching for him. Says he's a good dude. So we're gonna put him on probation. Probation was usually like a month or two. They would just watch the guy, see what he's like, and then at the first chance, that there was a hit or a mission, he had to he wasn't appointed. He had to volunteer. So that's part of the conditions. It was understood, or if it wasn't understood, I made them understand. This guy does he understand that? Hey bro, this guy wants to be a king. He's on probation. Cool. Does he understand that if that he can't fuck around for the next we're gonna be watching him for the next month, 2 months? Can't fuck around. Can't be involved in some goofy shit. Yup. Does he understand that if some dirt needs to happen, a mission, some nation business that needs to go down, that he's got to step up, that he's gotta want that shit, that we ain't gotta fucking ask him to do it, that he's gonna be the one that's fucking excited to do it. Yeah, bro. Oh, okay. I remember. Yeah, they would be like, "Oh no," but I'll let him know. So I remember. It must have been me. I remember at least one conversation where I had to tell him. I was like, "No, that motherfucker needs to. He doesn't get appointed to that mission. He doesn't get chosen for that mission. He's got to want it, and he's got to want to do it thoroughly and embrace that shit."
What were the kind of missions that they had to do in order to say, all right, the guy comes, he says, all right, I want in, you put him on probation. What are the kind of things that they'd have to go through that they'd have to do in order for you to say, all right, that's substantial enough, that's to a high enough degree in order to say, all right, he's proven his loyalty.
Trevor was one of them. Trevor was this white kid who always hung out with Rocco. As a matter of fact, I think Trevor used to hang out with Rocco, and I remember they mentioned it to me that this kid wanted to be a king, and I was like, "Who?" And they're like, "That kid." I was like, "Oh man, one of Rocco's friends." Jeez, man, we got our hands full with fucking Rocco, man. And then I remember Rocco was like, "No, bro, King, bro, hey, bro, King, man, he's a good dude, bro. I vouch for this, bro. He's good, bro." And I was like, "Rock, calm the fuck down, settle down." No, this is my boy, man. He family, bro. He take a bullet for a nigga, man. He take a bullet for nigga. He died for this shit. I was like, "Rock, take it down a notch." And I remember I was like, "Well, let me talk to this kid." And I talked to him. Trevor was new. He was doing a life sentence. And I was like, "What's up, brother?" He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And I talked to him a little bit. He was quiet and peaceful. And I remember thinking, "Hey, I like this kid." This kid's actually
What was he in for?
he murdered somebody. Yeah, he's in for murder, but he was a lifer. So I was like, damn. And he was young too. He was like fucking a teenager, 17, 18, 19. He was a kid. No, maybe like like 2021, but he was a kid. He's just a little kid. And I remember asking him, I was like, well, why do you want to do this? He's like, shh, man, I see the white guys, and that's just not me. And I see everybody else, and that's not me either. And then I've been hanging out with Rock, and with the other King brothers at St. Cloud. We were kicking it. One time we got into some shit at St. Cloud, and all the King brothers came together, and I was there with them, and we ended up, it was like there was a riot. They all they all came in because of a fucking riot. Rocco, him, the other fucking young motherfuckers all came in on the same wave. They had all rioted at St. Cloud for something. Fuck, I don't know what it was, but there was a riot at St. Cloud, and they brought in a bunch of these little young, teenage, 20 and 21-year-old lifers. And a few of them were kings. Several of them were kings. And then this kid used to hang out with the kings. So they told me, they're like, oh, no, Trevor Brown. They used to call him Brown. That's his name, Trevor Brown. So Brown used to hang out. They're like, no, Brown. Water? It's water. So Brown was with us, bro. He was good. He's a good dude, bro. He rolled out with us. I remember that. He rolled out with us. I was like, really? Why? He's like, nah, because he's just always kicking with us. I was like, shit, is that right? So he kicked it. He kicked it with us. He got involved in this riot, and he was there with the kings. They're like, yeah, that's why we always. He was always with us, and we always treated him like one of us. So. The brother wants to be a king. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me talk to him. I talked to him a little bit, and I was like, why, hang out with the white guy? He said, man, fuck that. I ain't hanging out with no widows. I'm not hanging out with the widows, with the whites. I was like, really? I was like, you like hanging out with
widows?
The widows. Widows. Guedos. Guettos. Guedos means whites in Mexican talk. So he's like, no, I just, I'm not like that. Because all the King brothers I was kicking it with at St. Cloud, I just felt comfortable with them. They're my peoples, man. I like what you guys stand for. I like, the rules, the way you carry yourself. I see all these other dudes, and they carry themselves, in a different manner. But I see the Kings, and they, you guys carry yourself different. I was like, well, hang out for a while. I was like, keep hanging out with us for a while. Give it a couple months, and then we'll talk again. And I remember I made him wait. It was like a 6 fucking month process, if I'm not mistaken. I made this motherfucker wait because they kept asking me like, King, can be a king now? I was like, nope. But what, mom? And I think that's what they got pissed off about that too. Some of the young bucks, they're like, why is this king from Chicago fucking telling us what we can and can't do in Minnesota? This kid is one. The Brown is one of us.
So that wave that came in from the riot from St. Cloud, that kind of started turning the waters toward the.
Yeah, Baby T. Baby T was one of them. He was a fucking God. His fucking kid was always getting in trouble too. Baby T always running his fucking mouth. Baby T, Rocco, Trevor, Tovar. Oh. What's the main one, this motherfucker? Now I already have 5. But there was like 5 or 6 of these fuckers, and they all came in. Dude, it was Jack's cousin. What's his name? And just because he was Jack's cousin, he thought that, he was like, I'm Jack's cousin. And Jack was recognized as like, as the main king, as the king of St. Paul. Slowpoke was the king of Minneapolis, and fucking Minneapolis and St. Paul always had this thing like it's us, we're separated. But we made it clear to them when they became a chapter that we only recognized one chapter, Inca, and that had to be there was only one of them, so it had to be Slowpoke until we worked it out with Jack, and they could work it out. But anyway, there's this little wave, and they were just he was the one that I did like because he was just calm, collected, and I was like, damn, this is a good example of what a king is. Where the other ones are just fucking goofies, man. They're fucking kids. And I remember some of the other kings going, man, I feel like a fucking babies. Yeah, the cell house jefe. The cell house jefe, I remember told me, he's like, fuck, but I feel like I'm babysitting over here. These fucking kids act like niggers. Remember, that's what he's like. He's like, they're always rapping. They wear their fucking pants halfway down their ass. He goes, I can't control them. And I think it was like all four, there's like 4 or 5 of them in the same unit with the cell house jefe. He was having a hard time dealing with them.
What kind of shit did they do?
Just always hanging, just making noise. Just they were acting like little young black gangbangers. Showing their underwear. I hated that. Where you're always showing your underwear, like little gangster rappers. They were out there rapping, trying to rap, and then they got into they started acting like the Vice Lords and the GDs. They started they were extorting people. They were extorting some guy for like $50 or $100 every canteen. And I heard about this. I was like, what? They're doing extortion over there? I was like, fuck. I was like, all right, crack down on these fucking goofies.
How long after you became an Inca did they come in?
It was a while. Oof. So I was an Inca around 97. They didn't show up until maybe 2000, 2001. Yeah, it wasn't long before I left. So I left there in 2001 or 2002.
Where?
Oak Park Heights. I think I left in 2001, 2002 is when I left.
Wait, when did you get out?
2011.
So for how many? So where'd you go for Oak Park Heights? Went to Stillwater?
Stillwater.
And then where?
Oof.
You got a bunch of places.
Yeah, I know. Stillwater. I finished at Lino Lakes, so it must have been Moose
I think they
Lake,
have it.
Faribault. Okay, so Stillwater, Faribault, Moose Lake, Lino Lakes. That's where I'm drawing a big fucking blank. Faribault. I can't even picture this. I can't even fucking remember what it looked like or where it was, but I know I was there at Faribault. Let me see.
Yeah, no, I'm looking right now.
And
All right. Oak Park Heights till 94. You got transferred to Stillwater in 04. You got transferred to Moose Lake in 07.
Really? 04? Really?
Moose Lake, you got transferred in 07. In 09, you got transferred to Faribault. And 11, you got placed in supervised release. Expiration of sentence 4/2/19.
Should I stop this recording?
Oh yeah.
2 hours.
2 hours?
2 and 15 minutes, yeah.